Welcome back to the Pit Check, everybody. Thank you all so much for the birthday wishes. Your boy is sunburnt as hell, but the beach trip was so needed. So over the last 2 weeks, I actually got a chance to listen to a bunch of new albums and demos from around the world, all while baking my brain off in the sun. And you know what? From that, I've got some nice new gems to share with you all. So as always, without too much yapping from me up top, let's just get right into my recommendations and reviews for the best new albums that came out this last couple weeks. UK straight edge hardcore. The wildly underrated Metallic hardcore band Temple Guard have released their sophomore album, Citadel in Flames. Full disclosure, I am not vegan, nor am I straight edge. But even I can't lie, this might be one of the best hardcore albums of the year. This is like being trampled by a stampede of escaped zoo animals. The guitar work here is especially worth discussing. They're ripping some really sick death metal riffs and even some like blackened elements like tremolo picking and just some evil atmosphere, but with this unbelievably vicious and biting anger that will not fail to get your heart rate up. Every song manages to be somehow both melodic and feral, and they never once become stale or like recycle riffs or choose the easy way out. Every song finds a unique way to completely disembowel you. I can't speak more highly of this album. It's got all of the grit and sludgy grime that I love so much from a band like this. The guitar fuzz, the feedback, the drummer who is clearly not a robot, and they all know when to show off and when to be savage. And I love that this vocalist isn't screaming from his throat, but from the demon inside of his stomach. If you're a fan of bands like All Out War or Regression or Day of Suffering, you will probably be, like me, blown the fuck away by this one. Canadian technical death metal. After 6 years since their debut album, the Ontario tech death band Goreworm has finally released their sophomore outing, Miasmic Solitude. This entire album is just pure raw talent. This is a band that wants to show you just how hard they fucking rip without relying on flashy production and robotic snap to a grid drumming. They prove you can be hyper technical while still sounding absolutely filthy and rough around the edges. Man, the guitars here are basically just non-stop soloing throughout the entire album. It's just wall-to-wall gorgeous melodies and unbelievably precise riffing that is always changing up every 34.6 seconds. The sheet music to this band's songs must look insane. And holy shit, that bass is shredding some of the juiciest and beefiest bass lines I've heard in a long time. Everyone in this band is putting their whole ass into every riff. The rhythms and grooves on this album are more infectious than Ebola. I was constantly sucked into each melody and the descent into madness from each song, and there's so much here to sink your teeth into with 10 back-to-back ass beaters. Super impressive stuff here, highly recommended. North Queensland Metalcore. The Australian chaotic hardcore and 2000s metalcore crossover band Same Pains has released this unbelievably good new demo, 5 Flowers. What a breath of fresh air to the modern metalcore scene. Holy shit. This has such a good blend of this like messy, abrasive, punishing sound that feels like it almost resents you for something, while simultaneously being able to capture these really heartfelt and passionate melodic through lines. The band says they're big fans of Norma Jean and Every Time I Die, and you can definitely hear that influence, but they're in no way, shape, or form trying to sound like them. There's some really menacing metallic hardcore riffs and even these like panic chords and guitar feedback and even some like grungy melodies, but then they turn around and implement these atmospheric, spacey, genty metalcore elements, all without sounding like they're just throwing everything at the kitchen sink. And I mean, I'm obviously biased, but I love how fucking heavy they can get on here. And all while showcasing this somber and sentimental lyricism and atmosphere that gives so much emotional weight behind the breakdowns. Dallas death metal. The quote heaviest death metal band in the world is back with their first new music in 7 years, this 3-song demo, Pious Impiety. For 31 years, this band has been just eating faces off without remorse, and they somehow keep getting heavier and heavier, proving once again why, beyond the iconic album covers that I can't show you, this band will always be in the Slam Hall of Fame. This is only 3 songs, so I'm just gonna answer the big question up front. Is it worth checking out? Absolutely. No bullshit. This is probably some of their best work to date. These songs are incredibly well written with plenty of their signature blasting brutality, and it's recorded with this like timeless quality, sounding textured and tangible while still being crystal clear. If you love slamming brutal death metal, you're gonna love this one, period. So I had an idea and I wanted to gauge your reaction to it. I was thinking it could be kind of cool to do some live streams, like where we could all get together and do a listen and chat through our initial thoughts on some new music, almost like a listening party or a first thoughts initial review. That said, I have no idea how that would work with copyright, given I assume that the DMCA bots aren't going to understand that it's transformative content as it's airing live. Maybe we'd have to do something like where you guys submit your bands to like listen to on the show and then specifically like whitelist the channel so that way I don't get hit with any copyright strikes. Or maybe it's just a thing that we have to do on Discord. I don't know. Somebody smarter than me, comment down below so we can figure something out. And also, if you're digging the content here, you should subscribe to the channel and like the video and send it to your friends because it super helps out the channel. This is a very small organization here. It's just me and this doesn't pay the bills yet. So every like, every share, it actually means a lot to me. Now let's get back to the music. Memphis metalcore is psychotic. The unhinged throwback metalcore and chaotic hardcore band A Kiss Before Dying has released their sophomore album, A Shifting Sense of Stillness. This thing beats so much ass, dude. You do not want to sleep on this band. This is such a good evolution of the Myspace metalcore and Revivalcore sound. It's just pure rage and passion without care for marketability or nostalgia. I love how much inspiration they're pulling from that more gritty early 2000s sound with a lot of the infectious shredding guitar melodies and aggressive grooves and chuggy 16th note patterns, all while not trying to sound like anyone but themselves. I am blown away by how unique and well-defined this band's sound is, and that sound is shredding your ears off with a cheese grater. Real talk though, the musicianship here is actually outstanding. Everything each member does is to service the song instead of their own egos. The writing is so tight and precise, while letting the actual recording be a little bit more on the loosey-goosey side with room to breathe, giving it an almost live feel. It really reminded me of those early Norma Jean albums. I was really fucking impressed by this one. This band deserves way more attention. Here are 3 incredible throwback metalcore bands from across the globe, all on one new split. Forever Yours is a new 3-way split that tackles a bunch of different flavors of the 2000s metalcore and metallic hardcore spectrum, and each band on this split gets to showcase 2 new tracks and then a 3rd cover song that was a song that was formative for them as a band. First up is Indication. This is a Tokyo-based 2000s OG metalcore-inspired band, and you may have actually heard of them before because this project is fronted by Kentaro, formerly of Crystal Lake. But this band has a much more raw and gritty sound that can get surprisingly melodic, similar to bands like Converge or Poison the Well, and no surprise here then that they picked Nerdy by Poison the Well as their song to cover, which perfectly fits their angry yet exasperated vibe. Next up, we have Watch You Fall. What is owed? This is a Ventura County, California metalcore band whose sound they self-describe as, quote, mythical obliteration, primarily due to this like gothy kind of flair that they can put on these really awesome melodic guitar riffs. And to be fair, they're absolutely right. Mythical obliteration, yeah, that works for them. It's so bassy and punchy and violent while also absolutely shredding. And they put a really fun twist on Within the Walls of Babylon by Archangel as their song to cover. And finally, Season's End. Season's End is an Atlanta-based melodic metalcore band that even sort of leans a little bit into the chaotic, poetic Myspace metalcore side of things, with these really interesting and creative guitar melodies that are just so fucking sick, and an absolutely killer bass player. Seriously, this dude shreds. I do wish the vocals had a little bit more variety though. The highs are definitely unique and took a minute to grow on me, but not gonna lie, even after that, I still found myself wanting some like lows to balance them out. But all in all, really killer work, not just from them, but from all 3 bands. I highly recommend you check out the entire album. Before we get to everyone's favorite segment, the Hard Corner, I don't know, we've done too much metalcore today. Let's check out another new corner we haven't been to yet. Let's see what's going on over in the Death Corner. The corners, they're multiplying. Here are 4 new Deathcore EPs that'll break your back. The New Hampshire technical deathcore band Wretched Tongues have put out their latest EP, A Proper Death. I need a wheelchair after this one, Jesus Christ. This thing is vicious and non-stop pummeling from the second that first breakdown hits. But I do also really appreciate that it's just like super fun and self-aware with the nastiest vocal Olympics that honestly feel like they're here to have a good time instead of showing off. But also the band as a whole is a little bit more on the technical side of the deathcore spectrum. So thankfully, all of the instruments get a ton of room to show off like crazy and of course, just melt your face off. The Canadian deathcore band Salem Trials has released their latest EP, Heavy is the Head. This is some violent, sluggish, down-tempo deathcore, and I'm so here for it. The low end on some of these breakdowns will rattle your colon. This feels like, and this is dumb, but this feels like trying to run full speed in like waist-deep water. It's exhausting, but obviously I mean that in the best way possible. And I do dig that the guitarists get room to show off some really cool and groovy riffs that aren't just slow, doomy chugs, because they transition perfectly into these just filthy breakdowns. The North Carolina new deathcore band Fault Reset has released their latest EP, Anathema. This thing is so fucking bouncy, dude. I'm really into it. It is packed wall to wall with just catchy grooves and rhythms. Each song just makes you want to bang your head till it breaks off. And I'm really into how much of the proggy syncopated patterns and clever guitar work that they use to keep from sounding repetitive, and a non-stop vocal barrage that is sometimes more black metal high-pitched and other times more beat down hardcore jaw-breaking lows, and they even throw in some pig squeals and gutturals. This thing does not pull any punches. And finally, the deathcore and slamming brutal death metal band Flesh Incinerant has put out their EP, Alkaloid Grace. Alright, so this one definitely leans more onto the slam side of things, but there's still a ton of the Myspace deathcore and gritty 2000s vibes, but mixed in with the more overt technical and brutal death metal elements. And I love how many melodies and solos are packed into just 4 songs. This EP is such a surprise, especially for it being only a 2-person band. Alright, now let's get into it. You know it, you love it. It's the Hard Corner! Here are 4 incredible new hardcore demos that you don't want to sleep on. The quote, Pomona Chicano hardcore band Barrio Slam has put out this ripper of an EP, Love of the Game. This is only 3 songs, but it's gonna put you in the fucking dirt. If you love old school hardcore punk, you cannot sleep on this band. 2 steps, fast riffs, concrete bricks through a window, breakdowns, it's got it all. They claim inspiration from bands like Minority Unit, A Global Threat, Comeback Kid, and LA greats like Mortar Pride and Countdown, but with this like infectious and delicious Chicano flavor that goes right to its fucking bones. 3 songs is just not enough. I love this band. The Oxnard hardcore band Torena has put out their latest EP, Extinction.
I don't forget. The mask is slipped, there's no escape. You face the veil.
This band is straight up Eternal Punishment incarnate. They have this unbelievably aggressive, riff-focused sound that is just relentless. There is so much good thrash and death metal inspiration in this guitar work while still having this bare-knuckle boxing hardcore spine. This one is also only 3 songs, but there is so much to unpack here, and it's got a lot of staying power. The Birmingham straight edge hardcore band Crucible has put out their demo, Demonstration. This one is as tough as nails on steroids, except I'm pretty sure roids are breaking edge. If you love that chunky, fuzzy guitar sound with plenty of old school riffs that can get both melodic and metallic. Maybe you're into bands like Marauder, or Earth Crisis, or maybe even some God's Hate. This one should be right up your alley. And finally, Blood Surge has put out their demo, Thirst for Blood. No mercy, no escape, only hell. Damn, alright Pinhead, I dig it. This is some feral hellbeast kind of music. This is the perfect blend of chaotic hardcore and metallic hardcore. It's so up-tempo and abrasive with absolute soul-crushing breakdowns. Super glad I found this band. This is good stuff. There is also an album that is getting surprise dropped on Saturday that I really want to talk about because it's so fucking sick. But I'll have to wait till next week to give you a full review of it when it's, officially been released, since I don't know if I'd actually be like spoiling the release by announcing it here. Also check out the band Arrhythmia and their album Parasocial. This is an instrumental, emo, post-hardcore kind of vibe. Like Explosions in the Sky, Save Us from the Archon kind of vibe. I only found out this band existed because of the incredible Drew Gooden deep dive on the music industry and Spotify in particular, about the scummy business practices and how they're screwing over artists and AI music and all sorts of stuff. Really good video, definitely check it out. But in that he mentioned that he secretly released his band and this is it, and it's pretty good. I like it. If you love like chill, vibey, doodly-doo, emotional, atmospheric stuff, check this one out. Very impressive. And of course, here is the full list of all of the albums and demos and whatever else that was released over the past 2 weeks. Really good stuff, lots of it to pick from. I tried to consolidate it so there's not everything, but everything on here is worth listening to, if that makes sense. So yeah, feel free to screenshot here, and as always, DM me, comment if you have new music coming out, if you know of new stuff coming out, if I missed something, yell at me, I give you full permission. And I'll catch you next week for more reviews and recommendations for the best new albums.